I got introduced to the game, I was like 6 years old. It's a great outlet. There you go. All right, there's all the stuff.
Yay. He put his name in the record book at Miami University. Matter of fact, Deland McCullough is the all-time leading rusher in the Mid-American Conference.
Youngstown, Ohio, I mean, it's where I call home. What I think of is just hard work. A really hardcore blue-collar town where people had to work for what they get. So I found out I was adopted. I'm like 5 or 6 years old. Me, my mom, my brother were over one of her friend's house on the north side of Youngstown. And she just said to her friend, she said, yeah, when we adopted Deland, and I looked up and I'm like, I'm adopted? And she said, yeah, and she just kept on talking. I was stunned, I was stunned, but I took it in stride. So we was on the field and Aeneas, he made a comment. We was talking about pass protection and stuff like that. Like calling me out like, what's my stuff looking like? Mm-hmm. Told me I messed up, now I got it queued up for you, JD.
What kind of film it looking like?
It's a VHS crossover tape, man. It's a little VHS crossover. It ain't huddle, I'm sorry, man.
With Deland, you get two great qualities. One, he's an excellent teacher. But the second thing is he is an unbelievable leader, all right? He is going to help the young men that he's in charge of set the example for how to be a man, to be a husband, to be a father.
Come on over, let's check it out real quick. Y'all guys can come, you can bring that with you. Let's see what we got. Definitely football is a big part of the Youngstown culture. We had great athletes during the time I was there, so just was happy to be part of that lineage. Caught it in the air, see? Caught it clean, caught it clean, caught it clean.
It actually is fast. What do you do with the ball? It's like 2 strides.
You see that, right? But I wouldn't. It wasn't long. It was coming from the DB spot.
Hey!
For me, I always, felt like I was looked down on. So I use that as fuel.
Listed at 5 foot 11 inches, 190 pounds. Deland swears he weighs 205.
Had a couple good games, and then it just took off from there. And then I started getting, scholarship offers and different things like that.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of being able to recruit my hometown area, which was Youngstown, Campbell area. And so I'm looking at running backs, and I see this young man at Campbell Memorial High School, and I just loved the way he ran. He ran with attitude, ran downhill. I was sitting in English class, and then maybe 15 minutes later, I get called down to the front office. It was like a movie. I walk in and there was a guy in there, he turned around and he said, I'm Sherman Smith, I'm the running back coach for Miami University. And I was like, man, it was like a connection right there. He would say, hey, you may not be looking for a father, but I'm gonna treat you like you're my son. I said, man, I need to be around this type of guy. When he committed, we were excited, the school was excited. And based on what Deland did in his career, I think, we found out it was a great choice for us and for him. So when I left Miami, I was the all-time leading rusher in Miami and in Mid-American Conference history. We can get started here. Notre Dame running back, I will protect the football and the quarterback at all times. I will be detailed, dependable, and disciplined. Toughness, technique, and effort will be a staple of how I perform. Unselfishly, I'll do anything to help our team win. That's what I'm talking about, so we know our standard and how we rolling. Hey, Coach talked about living to our belief system. I had no interest in coaching. I knew when I got done playing football, I wanted to work and be an influence on kids' lives. J Love, go up there, man. Let's see what you got, man. Crank it out.
Coach McCullough teaches not only me, but everybody in the room that, stuff happens in life. As long as you're trying to, strive and chase perfection and be as detailed as you can, you're gonna achieve success.
And we talk about performing to our system, all right? And our system is based on those standards we just got done reading. So as I just was getting in coaching, my mom had called me and she had said, hey, if you ever want to find your biological family, she had no problem supporting that. I just never was really inclined to do it. One night, and she said, maybe we can get your file or something like that. So I'm sitting up like, okay, well, what's in it? She said, when I went to get you were in the orphanage. I never knew that. I knew I was in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, and they called you Baby John. So what I seen is my mom's name, Carol Denise Briggs. I looked up and found her on Facebook, And I sent them a message that night. I sent them a message saying, hate to bother you this way, but were you in Allegheny, Pennsylvania in December 1972 and put a baby boy up for adoption? And she put yes. And then I really got emotional. I said, can I call you later on? And she said, yes. She's like, I don't understand what's going on here. I called and, as soon as we got on the phone, I said, obviously I'm John. And she, it was an emotional response for both of us. Well, shoot, who's my father then? And she said, your father is a man named Sherman Smith. I almost lost it. And she was like, what's wrong? I said, I know him. And I said, he recruited me. He was my coach. And I said, he's been my mentor for the past 28 years. And I asked her, I said, did he know? She said, he never knew anything. So the next day I texted him again. I said, Coach, I need to talk to you about something. We got on the phone and I said, hey, I'm adopted. And he knew that from recruiting me. And I said, man, I found my biological mom. And I just ran it straight down. I didn't no pause. I said, my mom's name is Carol Briggs. And when I asked her who was my dad, she said, you.
And it was like I said, it was like a bomb went off. I'm glad that I was sitting down. I didn't expect this conversation to go this way. And then when it did, I was shocked.
But then when I went to see my dad, and this is the first time I'm going to see him as my dad. So I remember pulling up to his house, like a movie. He opened the door and he just said, my son. And I started crying like a baby, man. I was like, oh my goodness. And we just, embraced and everything like that.
And to hear Deland say that's the first time someone had said that to him, that really meant a lot. So just taking on that understanding, that recognition of who this young man is and proud of him.
He's just a great example of you have to make the most of every moment you have. He never made excuses for not having a father early in his life, but then, the ability to regain and grow that relationship with a man that he thought was just his coach and mentor, and then became his actual biological father. It's kind of set his foundation and his future and path for why he's become a great coach.